Okay, in this part of our lesson, we're going to be working with the power of a power property. So this is somewhat similar to our previous section, but we have to remember that there is going to be something different. In our previous part of this section, we would do to the power of 2 times to the power of 3. Now what they're doing is they are putting an exponent upon an exponent. So really, if we were to write this out longhand, this is what this one would look like. It would look like 2 to the power of 2, which is that. There's one set, right? Because that is to the power of 2. We are going to do that 3 times. So we could either look at it like that, or we could look at it like this: 2 squared times 2 squared times 2 squared. See how we have 1, 2, 3 times of that happening. Okay, 3 times. Now we could use our old rule of adding these together. So 2 plus 2 plus 2 would give me 2 to the power of 6. What's another way of getting that 2 to the power of 6 using this information? Well, what we're going to do is we're going to actually multiply. So if you have an exponent upon another exponent, so directly an exponent on another exponent, you're actually going to multiply between the 2 exponents. So 2 times 3 would give me that 2 to the power of 6. Okay, so for the first couple, yes, I'll write out so that you can visually see why it's happening. But then after that, no, I'm not going to write it out. We're just going to use the rule of an exponent upon another exponent, or a power of a power. We're going to then go ahead and multiply those together. Now, algebraically, we will come across some where we're maybe involving some algebra. So we'll review some of that also as we come upon it. So here we have w to the 5th power, and we have that 4 times. So we have w to the 5th times w to the 5th times w to the 5th times w to the 5th. Okay, I'm not going to write this out every time, but just as we're first learning it. So in our previous part of this lesson, we learned that when we're multiplying and they have the same base numbers, we can actually add these together. So 5 plus 5 is 10, plus 5 is 15, plus 5 would give us 20, which would give us w to the 20th power. A much faster way, we multiply 5 times 4 gave us that 20 there that we have. Okay, so product. So the power of a power, we're going to actually multiply those exponents or those powers together. Okay, so here we have a base number of 3 to the 4th power to the 3rd power. So 4 and 3, well, we're going to go ahead and multiply 4 times 3 because it's a power on a power. That gives me 3 as my base number to the 12th power. Final answer. Okay, sometimes you're going to come across some algebra ones where we have some letters involved, right? Okay, same concept. Only thing is we can't do a z times a c. So the way that we would write this out simplified is we would just say 8 and then zc, because those two right next to each other means you're multiplying them together. Not very often are you going to come across this, maybe more when you're in algebra, but we're going to do a basic review of it here in this part of our lesson. So here we have 7 as our base number, and it's m times the n power, so we would just say n, and that's our final answer. We can't go any further. Okay, so I'm going to give you guys a few to try. I want you guys to try them out. Pause your video, and then check back to see if your answers were correct on these 4. So go ahead, pause your video, and then check back to see if you got your answers correct. Okay, so there's your final answers. You should have gotten 4 to the 12th, which is 4 times 3. Our 3 times 2 on our exponent gave us negative 4 to the 6th power. On letter C, 2 times 4 gave us 8, so it was y to the 8th power. And then on our last one, it was 5 and the 2 letters. We can't multiply them together, so we just go ahead and write them as multiplying exponents next to each other. So it's 5bn. Okay, so good luck with this part of the lesson. Remember, when you have a power to a power, you are multiplying those exponents.